Hi guys, I am T McVenom with Reality Skew Gamers. Oh, I should have said hello survivors. That's my new catchphrase there. I need to practice it more. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is our first live stream for State of Survival. Hold on. There we go. I had some tech difficulties. All I heard was a guy yelling at me about toning belly fat from YouTube. It played. So thank you guys for tuning in. Again, this is Reality Skew Gamers. I am joined today by, let's see, 4 guests I'm super excited about. Also, before we start, I wanted everyone, I see a lot of state pride going on in the chat here. So shout out your states if you're watching in the YouTube stream. Just shout out what state you're here watching from. And of course, we're looking at comments. We're going to do a live question and answer section towards the end. But let me introduce our guest right off the bat here from State 10, Skorn. Say hi, Skorn. He's over there drinking his wine, chilling out.
Hello.
Skorn is with ZDY. He is the leader for Z-Day. He has his alliance has the highest battle power in the game at 8.7 billion. Pretty big deal. And his state age is around 9 months, right, Skorn?
June, July timeframe, I think. Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yep.
Our next guest is EDC. Say hi, EDC. He is with Pathfinders, and he's in state 19.
Hello, everyone.
There we go. His highest alliance kill rank, and he's at what, 3.4 billion kills in the game. It's pretty ridiculous. I can't even imagine that age. And yours is around 7 months, I think. Your state is 19 at around 7 months. We also have StickyFang Gaming. Say hi, StickyFang.
Hello, guys. Hey, what's up? Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Sticky is actually one of my surprise guests. He's an SOS content creator and the voice of the voiceless. Right, Sticky?
Hey.
He's from State 11, 101 Legion. And their state, I think, what did you say? 8 months? About 8 months, right? Sticky?
Yeah, just about that time frame, August of last year.
Great. Yep. And then my final guest is from my state, 125. His name is Deleete, and he is with We Are Legends. And he's currently the bane of my existence right now. So welcome, Deleete.
What up, everybody?
Deleete is currently in our state. He's I would say our best player there. So we have a little bit of a rivalry going on, but we're good buddies. He's a cool guy. So we keep it fun. So guys, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you guys jumping on the stream. We're going to start off with a couple of questions, and you guys can throw those around to each other. We'll go around the corn, as RSG likes to say, and we'll answer some of the questions. The first question that I wanted to get to was your state and how you've got your state's rules set up. You know.
So I guess I'll start off. So StickyFang Gaming. When we first started, our state was in a little bit of disarray. But what ended up happening is a couple of the leaders came together and determined that the biggest enemy isn't ourselves, but the enemy on the outside. So if you've seen some of my earlier videos about the game, you've noticed that I was really big on interstate pride, and it was everyone versus State 11. And so that kind of brought us all together. And that's kind of how we made our rules, you know,
So like more unity as the state, you guys don't do hits on each other or anything?
Well, we try to keep it competitive. So what we'll do for some events is we'll do strictly building hits. You won't be allowed to hit someone's settlement because that does permanent losses for either you or that person. And that's a waste. That's a waste of power. So we will do, for a fortress fight, you can only hit on the bunkers or facilities. For capital, you can only hit on the towers and the capital. And it keeps it fun. It keeps it light. And that's what we prefer because it conserves your power and you can still get that combat experience.
Interesting. How about your state, Skorn? Do you guys have a similar setup or?
It's a little bit different. So we had this idea of, at least I focus on the idea of balance at first. So this idea of interstate unity wasn't a focus because I didn't feel like people were going to buy into that. But so I try to create balance to where how can we make the farmers happy so we don't have these early on good players leading the game early on and weakening the state, but allowing them to build up while making the more aggressive players still feel fulfilled. And so I put a little bit of rules in place of, when you're hitting people, no more than one hit when you're like during KE usually, unless you have a lot of resources, because if you're draining everybody's resources, you're inhibiting their growth, which therein inhibits our own growth as a state. The whole idea of unity didn't start to come in until way later, probably around capital clash is when I started focusing on unity. So how do we get everybody now? We're working together. The whole state's getting medals together now. How do we now be able to get this idea of moving past seeing each other as alliances and more as a state? And that's the whole other.
Made that transition though? Like, what was it, the point that made the transition from figuring out who's boss into like a unity state? Was it a catalyst moment, or was it just it eventually evolved into that? Mostly
a catalyst moment. Hey, buddy. Mostly a catalyst moment to where, usually when you have what?
Say hi.
Hey, say hi.
Say hi. Hi, Skorn, little Skorn.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
So during Capital Clash, everybody expects this. We're all going to be fighting over this. We're going to be losing a lot of stuff. What's that going to look like? And so me beforehand, some back-end deals, some not, trying to make it to where everybody would be able to focus on, okay, let's get the top state players that we need to build up to be defenders, and have the rest of the state agree on attacking them so that everybody would at least get the first 3 default stages of medals. That was a big deal for a lot of people because, we were all worried about how our, rank 7 or rank 6 alliance is going to get dominated and get nothing out of Capital Clash. But now we're working together with, the top, 3 and 4 alliances. And then from there, talking with the leaders and the players, they can work together. And later on after that, there was a lot of, when we have towers defending, now let's start bringing people from these other alliances having mixed towers. So instead of having a tower of all one alliance, have multiple people in there, or multiple alliances hitting it together too, so that people start feeling like they work together. And then now, at the moment, we have a grand alliance, almost maxed out research. That's just state 10 alliance, which everybody will be joining and doing RR together. So now, like what ZDY is at
for state we stay.
Yeah, it's
for
nothing.
State versus state.
For state 10 soon, that alliance that we have built up also, because ZDI is out of research. We have nothing else to research. So we started pouring into this other alliance that one of the few wars I had to do because they were intervening in the balance. They did well with research, so it didn't take too much they're really pretty high. So we go in there for donations, the funds. But we're starting to use that now with everybody from all these different alliances. Let me have your top players. Let's all play together just for this weekend for RR, for the, a reservoir raid. And that creates, cohesion.
That's pretty interesting about creating the new alliance there. EDC, how is your state? Is it in any way similar to these guys, or?
At the moment, it isn't. We've been at war with 2 camps basically since the start of state, and it's only recently, like the last 2-3 weeks or something, that we started discussing how to prepare for state versus state, because we can all see it coming, and I think the war has kept our state quite alive as it is, but there are some concerns about getting completely wiped out by a stronger state at this point.
Well, yeah, because your approach, obviously, to the game, you're the highest kill ranking alliance in the game, so your approach is probably a bit different than, say, Skorn's or anybody else's. Are you hated? Are you like absolutely hated in your state?
By
honestly?
Some players, yeah.
Is that fun? Just curious. But it is a little bit.
You get used to it at some point.
I actually have a question for him.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm here, yeah, after you.
Are you guys at war or?
Yeah, we are.
2 camps, you said, right?
In 2 camps, yeah. So we have the Pathfinder side, and currently there is another clan which is roughly equal in power to us, PSV, which is the leading alliance on the other side, pretty much.
I'm curious. How much have you instigated the war compared to the other groups?
At the start, it was always definitely.
Okay. Cool.
I kind of like your chaotic evil vibe you got going on, EDC, to be honest. I'm not even going to lie. It's fun. I think it would be fun. And we were talking about this before the stream started about how we always open a new game and say, I'm going to play it a completely different way than what I'm comfortable playing normally. And so I started this game going, I'm going to be completely evil. I'm just going to hit everybody and not be in leadership. And it always falls that you end up playing the same way. Have you always played as a little bit more aggressive, chaotic evil style?
No, I can't say I do, to be honest.
So this is different for you.
Yeah, it is different. It's maybe also worth noting that I took over the Alliance R5 around late December, early January. And the previous leader was a lot more aggressive than I am. But yeah,
so was it a peaceful takeover, or was it a coup d'etat?
He said, was it a peaceful takeover, or was it you just took over completely?
No, it was a peaceful takeover. The old leader actually quit the game, so he's not around anymore, and he bestowed the honor on me. And yeah, we still have the occasional barbecue party, as I would call them, but it's not as aggressive anymore as it used to be in the past.
Gotcha. So another person we have here is Deleete. Say hi, Deleete. I know we've already introduced you, but Deleete is in state 125, and his alliance is in the governor position. And how do you guys feel about the way you're leading the state? I am completely neutral, by the way. I'm not gonna bash anything about the state.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a pretty difficult situation as probably my leader is probably one of the most hated people in the alliance, by far. And it's really because when you're on his side, he's awesome, and when he's against you, he's, so like, don't get on his bad side is kind of the way that it rolls off.
FYI, I'm on his bad side.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely had some worth, but like, we haven't done anything that would be considered like awful. We're not taking, as many bunkers as possible. We're not squeezing people out of just about anything. We're playing it fair.
Middle of the road. I would say more kind of down, trying to keep it down the middle of the road. You're not playing completely 100% good guys, but you're not playing bad guys out right off the bat either.
Yeah. I mean, the ideal situation is just to be strong state versus state. And, that's our goal, going into it, because it's like the game's got to progress. There's only so much you can do as far as like within your own state that's going to keep it lively. The other events whether it's Showdown and, seeing what else is out there and just kind of comparing yourself to, like, when you pick your leaderboard and then you click all, the substantial difference where you are and where everyone is either time or it's going to be something else, So like, by the time you catch up to how long other people have been playing, your whole state's got to be there. Because if they're not, you're going to get crushed, and no one wants to get crushed.
Oh yeah, I think that's absolute truth. I wanted to touch back on the rules thing though, about each of your states. We didn't really hit the specific rules you have for people that are watching right now that are trying to set, I want a healthy state. I want to have a healthy state. And if SVS starts soon, I want my state to get there. What would you say is the number one rules that you guys should, like, let's say the top 3 that you should really start trying to work on? Skorn, go ahead. I can see you giving me.
Go ahead, Fang. I'm bringing up my role list anyways. Go ahead,
oh, gotcha. Do you have a role list, really?
I would say,
how do you bring in non-European English-speaking characters at the role list and then translate it?
Nice. Okay, Sticky, you can go first. How about yours?
Well, I would say the top 3 rules when you first start a state would be try to, when you very first start a state, maybe do like a NAP, like a non-aggression pact between the first top 20 alliances if it's a brand spanking new state, just because you want to retain as many players as possible. Kind of reel them in, let them get a taste of the game before you burn them. Let them get addicted first. That way, if you burn them a couple of times, they won't just quit automatically because they don't know how fun the game can be. That would be my first suggestion. Next, I would put something along the lines of if you are hitting someone, don't zero them out. Don't zero their troops. If they have a ton of resources, hit them a couple of times, take some of their resources, but let them live so they're able to heal and recover so they don't quit. The biggest thing that makes people quit is when they lose everything, their troops and their resources that they can't get back. That's pretty demoralizing, especially for a brand making new state. The last thing I would suggest would be probably, I don't know. I think those are like the biggest 2 things. I'll let someone else take over for a good third one, but those are the biggest 2, like top 20 NAP and then a hit limitation.
Gotcha. Skorn, do you have any, or the same basic rules, would you say, or do you have any additions to it?
Well, I mean, so I don't know about top 3, but when it comes to at least PvP, we have the run hit rule or the hit it and quit it. Don't hit a player in an alliance more than once. Let's have a lot of resources. Again, because how do you find this balance between people who want to go in KE and you get those players?
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of
hitting lower end players, but really it's not fighting. Like you're hitting lower BP players. Like it has nothing to do with strategy or skill, but they still want the resources, and that's fine. And they want the points, which is also good. And so you had to allow them to be able to hit people at least once when it comes to KE. So that was one of the rules. We allow towel hitting because people don't really lose much with towel hitting.
So that was a big question I had, was about the tile hitting. Like our state is kind of about no tile hits. But to me, it would seem less damaging for tile hits during KEs. Is that?
You lose nothing. Everybody's both defenders.
Exactly.
So the idea of like, cool, you halted one, a resource gathering event for them, but no, in the world.
I can agree but disagree with that because, you don't lose much with tile hits, but for someone who's kind of small and kind of brand new, that can, again, be very demoralizing. They can still have a whole bunch of troops sitting at home and lose a tile hit and be like, all right, I'm quitting. I think tile hits.
I'd much rather get a tile hit than somebody come and rape my village, though, to be honest. I'd much rather do it.
That's true, but okay, so if I would say a good middle ground for tile hits would be like, okay, if they are farming in someone else's hive, or if they are like, I don't know, there has to be rules with tile hits too. Like there has to be a safe place at least. If they're farming within their own borders, then they're safe. Something like that.
So are we talking about all the time, or are you talking about just in KEs?
KE.
I would say all the time.
KEs, right?
I'm doing KE.
My thought, I was always thinking, and I think Deleete, you had actually mentioned this once before too, is like KE should be free for all. Of course, we're not going to like just hit the same person, but a KE is a KE. It's a kill event. So like tile hits should be cool, but a lot of people in my state are iffy about that. EDC, are they weird in your state? Well, I bet they are weird in your state. You probably killed them all.
Our state is not that by any means, but I think people are a lot more on the ball because towel hits happen. The occasional zero happens, but I wouldn't say it's all that bad. Most players that are still remaining playing right now, they are all warriors. They're all fighters. So the competitive part of the game is actually really what appeals to them.
Because you've kind of like whipped them into shape at this point. You think maybe the aggressiveness of the state has weeded out the weak and left only strong fighters. Do you think?
Yeah, and we are looking at ways to improve the smaller alliances at the moment. So personally, from Pathfinders itself, we have actually decided that besides our nemesis, pretty much the other alliances are off limit. But I'm not sure if that is going to improve our state that much for state versus state. I mean, if you're level 20 right now in a 7-8 month old state, then what value are you going to be once state versus state hits with all the 30s coming in?
I would agree to that. Yeah. I mean, eventually everybody's going to catch up at some point, but if at 8 months in, you don't have the passion to get past 20, you might not have it to go even further. So that's interesting. I like how the dynamics are completely different in each of the states. I like your idea too about not hitting unless you're in war with people, but how does that help everybody else grow? Deleete, what do you think about our rules?
I mean,
can we convince them to change the KE tile hitting?
You know, I mean, for the most part, we don't really have that many rules. Our biggest thing, so from what I've seen, is the fact that, like, you know, if you're awful and just disrespectful in state chat, you know, that's immediate 0, you know, and then when you try to support that person, you know, if your alliance kind of goes and just, oh, they didn't mean it or whatever, you know, it's like, it's only a matter of time before that shield breaks and someone catches you out there and we 0 you, because there's just like no room for us to see that, you know? So like, that's one thing, you know, there are going to be like random times where alliances just kind of make, you know, under the table kind of PM deals. And they're just like, hey, I didn't do this, or you should stay away from this. And then they get involved and then we get involved. And it's just like a nightmare, you know, there's no real kind of thing. For the most part, in our capital and bunkers, everything's been clean. You know, no one's really been kind of like like waiting for something and then just burning their base and random porting them because they're just zeroed out. You know, it's been literally, hey, hit me, attack, let's go. You know, once we're in the facility, maybe a fast march to kind of get in. There really hasn't been like enough structure. You know, we're not at that point where like the people that want to stay playing the game are going to be, you know, like haven't made like a solid decision on how much they want to continue playing the game and how much they want to like stop the nonsense. You know, we're still at the point where it's like, hey, you hit my leader because he said something mean to you, you know, like, oh, now I've got to hit you back or whatever, you know, like you burned my farm. Oh, now my whole alliance is going to come at you. But it's like, you know, especially from what we've seen, it's actually better for you to just taunt someone to the point where they attack you and you're fully reinforced.
That's my whole strategy right there. Make everybody mad enough to come hit me in my base.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, that's, you know, the way that the rules set up right now, you know, it's more beneficial to actually have someone attack you and lose than it is to attack someone and burn. You know, I mean, that's just the way it kind of goes. Because if you're attacking, you're hurting your own BP, and it's going to take time to just replace that, you know? So that's what we've seen.
In the early stage that we're in, yeah, absolutely. I would 100% agree with that.
You know, because you can drop 3 billion BP in no time, you know, if you wrong.
Especially in a cap fight. Real quick, Alejandro Garcia just donated $20 for a super chat with the ZDY and hearts. You have
wow, ZDY! Congrats!
Thank you so much, man. That's awesome.
He's probably one of the best members we have. He's just
really
such a sweetheart. He's always participating in events. Always helping out people.
Yeah. Can I get a Linda State 125, please? So yeah, Deleete, you had a good point with the capital. We're not quite at that level. We're still trying to figure out cap battles and stuff. But the way we played it, and I don't know if you guys play it this way, where you don't hit settlements. We don't do settlement hits while we're doing capitals and facility battles. Is that what you guys stick to? That made it really good for us to learn. So that way we're not porting all over the place and just trying to get our bearings again. We're really
I was curious when I watched your last Capital Clash why you guys weren't doing that. I was curious, like, why would you not take advantage of these? Cool, the top 2 alliances are working together. Let's just eat all their resources and grow bigger while they get a few medals at one time.
Well, because we honestly did not want to be the first ones to break the rules that were set by the top, you know, alliances. But, you know, it was tempting. It was super tempting to hit a settlement and just have them out of the way so we could gain a little bit of leeway there. But it did help everyone else kind of figure out the capital, because this was only our second one, Deleete? Our second? Yeah.
And for the record, capital, we were alliance number 6, and I think we got help from Alliance number 3. And I think we're still probably Alliance number 3, maybe. And I think the one that was helping us is now Alliance 1, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we're still not top of the board. I'm the strongest player, but we're not the strongest alliance yet.
What's your power?
I am about 75 million right now.
Wow.
He's annoying. He's so annoying with his power, flaunting it all over the state.
I mean, he can always
Hey,
come and say
there-
11.
And there's a lot of people on the come up. It's not just
Oh yeah, no, I think it's going to be a fun state if we can get our situation under control. I'm really fascinated with EDC's state though. Like I'm gonna have to go and look and check it out and figure out like when I'm gonna have to hit his messages up about whenever they're having a war, the capital battles, because I just think that would be a fun state to play in where there's no not a lot of rules there. You just kind of hit whatever. It would be hard to grow, but I mean, that would be a fun state to hop into after you've been a player for a year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole different, because then it's not just okay to just kind of just sit back, wait, watch two people duel it out. You wait for someone to pop a big rally and you burn them right there. That's a game changer. That makes people a little less a lot more hesitant to go ahead and push that rally button and think that nothing else is coming.
Yeah.
And I just want to confirm, you said that you guys do this during your normal capital clash right now?
You mean the no settlement hitting?
Mm-hmm.
There's no settlement during capital or bunkers that I've seen, or facilities for that matter.
Now, not saying that will agree to not hit settlements. That was the consensus of what everybody wanted. So we're like, okay, I'm not going to be the first one to do that and then be like the total bitch of the whole state. So we've been kind of waiting and seeing who's going to be the first one to break that rule. But I don't know. It does make it easier to learn the mechanics of the towers and things like that, because, that is a little bit tricky to correct.
Yeah, I would not break those rules ever.
Yeah, especially when you're working with two alliances and you're trying to control towers and switching off the capital. That's always a little fun interchange. But yeah, so we'll see. The other question I had about was what you guys think about what are you smiling at, Skorn?
Nothing. You're good. You got it.
He's laughing at us, Deleete, because he's like, oh, you guys wait. It's going to get really good.
Skorn's waiting to fight our capital and just destroy us.
Oh yeah, he's gonna totally destroy us. Because when we were doing our capital, he was like, "Why are y'all doing it that way?" I could feel the questioning in the messages. What? I'm sorry.
No, it's got to be driving him mad because if you see it, such a part of the game. But if you choose not to take part in it, it shifts the dynamic tremendously. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Totally.
Everybody has different contexts. And so as silly as it seems to me, I also can't judge your position because I don't know what situations you're dealing with. So are you actively trying to build relationships with the other leaders? Are you not? Or are you trying to and they're being resistant? I can't judge your position. And so that's why I'm not commenting. To me, it seems like a silly situation, but everybody has different contexts. So I can't judge your place and judge your decisions. I don't know.
It's a very complicated little thing going on. Speaking on that, do you guys get involved in state chat bickering and all that stuff? Or are you guys at the point now where you just kind of stay out of it and be done?
State chat is toxic. You do not want to,
ours is super toxic.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun, but it has gotten really if you are just a random person joining the game and you hop in our state chat, sometimes it can be interesting. But right now we're all friends and stuff. But before, there's been some stuff.
Yeah, we have some crazy stuff going on. EDC, do you ever? You strike me as that I don't bother with the state chat kind of dude. But do you ever get into squabbles in there?
Me?
Yeah, EDC.
No, I don't really get into squabbles.
I don't.
But I must say that we don't have that much bickering and cursing and toxicity in state chat. Simply because I think at this point everyone understands that there is a person behind the player, behind the account, and I would say even with our enemies, we just have normal conversations like how you doing, how you dealing with the COVID, that sort of stuff. Everyone healthy? So yeah, to some form there is some form of unity, despite that we are constantly at each other's throat.
Yeah, I find that I'm serious. I'm just fascinated by your state, but the fact that you have the highest kills and you have the least amount of out of all of us toxicity and bickering in your state chat.
That surprises me. It sounds
It's
like
pretty interesting. I need you to do some video on your state so that I can kind of just watch vicariously like I'm watching real world on Instagram.
Agreed. Yeah.
Skorn, how about yours?
The question?
Like state chat. Do you really get into like the bickering and the craziness there?
I have members which I allow to do that. And there's some members which, so I'm the type of gamer that like, at least with these types of games that I'm new to, I don't talk on state chat much. To me, it's frustrating and annoying. The only time I do it is if I get into squabble with somebody and I want to elicit their emotions a little bit, like, right, let's get this person pissed off so that they're making dumb mistakes, then yeah, sure, I will. But generally, I never read it and I'm never in it. I have people who do that for me and let me know if there's anything I need to care about. Like Shizzy, which you guys probably see, right? Yeah, there he is. That's me. He says it. He knows what's up. He's a cool guy. I really loves him. But generally, I don't pay attention to or talk to state chat, but it is active. There's people usually talking in the state chat, joking around. Like I said, everybody's pretty cool in my state now. It used to be shit talking. Now it's expanded to or transformed to everybody's just joking around between different alliances.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Delete's more of he hardly ever goes into state chat. I only go into state chat to play devil's advocate and rile somebody up, basically. I just want to play the devil's advocate there. Similar to style to Skorn, I think, but it's gotten a little bit out of hand. I think that's only because capital has happened and now there's a lot more at stake when we're battling each other, but hopefully it'll ease out some. So what do you guys think about the capital battle itself, the event and the length of the event? As older players, do you like how long it is? EDC, do you like how long it is?
I'm going to go with a middle ground. I mean, I think it's part of the event to manage around the duration. We have people from all over the world, so some people are actually asleep when the event starts, and some people are asleep in the middle. And I think that is one of the things that you need to deal with because of the duration, and removing that would make it just a glorified fortress.
Oh, yeah. What about you, Sticky?
So being a veteran gamer from all sorts of different mobile games, I've played events like that have lasted for days. I've played events like that has lasted for about 4 hours. So I think that the developers found a really good middle ground, as in the max for this event is 24 hours, and you only need to hold it for 8 hours consecutive. It's like that in other games that this company works for like Z-Day and King of Avalon, etc. So I think they found a pretty good formula for this because it's not too short to where you have to be on the entire time and it goes back and forth and it's just nuts. And it's not too long where it lasts a couple of days, So I enjoy it. I personally like it. I think that hopefully state versus state is something similar to this. So,
man. So me and Deleete have completely opposite views of you guys. What about you, Skorn? Do you like the length of the capital battle? Is that, yeah.
No, that's a great question. So in my situation, we don't have to worry about that. We have everybody agrees upon pairs ahead of time. So like, who are the people who have defending towers? And we encourage everybody to hit it. So everybody gets medals. So as long as you're within the top 20 alliance, we're working towards you getting in the top. Like there's times I will not defend and not attack, or not attack solo, but I will do rallies for lower levels to get them their medals. Like we work together in that aspect. And so that's not something that's really been an issue for me that I've thought about much, to be honest. I mean, 8 hours is kind of long. Like I don't even do CC anymore because it's just not exciting. I have other people, like I'll go in a tower sometimes. I'm good, no worries. I'll get all the medals. I need at least the top, the first 3 default stages, and then you get the ranking medals you get. But it's just one of those things, I guess, where my state's just waiting for the SVS.
Yeah. Maybe we're just not at that level where we're appreciating the length. Like, somebody don't clip that. But yeah, because Deleete and I were, our state is just, this is exhausting. 24 hours is way too long. It was exhausting, but that's maybe because we were all in it, like die hard into it, because it was only our like first or second one. So I don't know. Real quick, I wanted to do a shout out to Lionheart, who just subbed. Thank you so much for that. And we have a lot more viewers right now. And so I don't know if you guys watched in the very beginning, but I just wanted to reintroduce our guests. We have Skorn, State 10 with Z-Day. We have State 19 EDC, Pathfinders, State 11. We have StickyFang, who is a SOS content creator and voice of the voiceless with Legion. And we also have Deleete with State 125 with We Are Legends.
I like what Durgan just said. Sorry, I just had to highlight that.
No, that's okay. What did Durgan say? Man, Durgan, okay. So Durgan is he's one of my closest friends. He plays other games with us. We play Borderlands. We play tons of other games with Reality Skew Gamers. And Durgan is my troll. Really good friend, but he joined State of Survival. And I let him into the alliance as a low-level player. And I said, look, man, you got to participate. You're in a prime spot, and I need you to participate and grow really fast so that we can do these vids together. Dude, like logged in once a day, whatever. And so I had to kick him out for capital. And he's been trolling me ever since about how awful I am and heartless I am for kicking him out. But I didn't hit him. I could have hit him. He had lots of res. The next question I had for you guys, actually we kind of went over it. Are you friends with your state enemies? Like, are you just a game type, or are you a death till we hate? Once you're enemies with somebody, you're done. You love the battle and the enemy situation with them.
It depends on the crime, you know. There's people who can do some pretty messed up things and that can ruin friendships or relationships, like with you and that person forever. Like, you can never associate with that person again. And then there's some people who do like petty crimes and stuff. You hit them, you burn them, you maybe leave some troops for them so they can grow, and then you get over it, you know. So it really depends on the offense. And I'm not really one to take like grudges and stuff like that, but Nimki, like, if you cross him, you have a hard time getting back on his good side. So yeah.
RSG fans trolling me in chat here. They know I hate that word. Go ahead, Skorn. What do you think?
So, I mean, it's kind of I won't say it's a mutually exclusive, but so it's kind of a balance between, I'm a pretty serious gamer, like I mentioned. So like when we talk about like the state chat, I don't talk in the chat much. My lines chat only sometimes to kind of make that appearance, because I understand people want it. But normally I'm busy with work, you know, family life, you know, wife, son. And so usually I'm just like grinding on the side, not paying attention usually. And so I don't talk too much, but I'm still serious when, you know, I get into the numbers with some of my R4s I have. I purposely promote R4s that I know are going to question decisions I make, are going to be critical thinkers. And so there's been quite a few times where there's been people I just do not like, but I've had to move past it because for the sake of state growth. And so as Shizzy keeps mentioning in chat, we have a group which I now have much respect for. These are people who are really big in Dino Wars, Game of War, previous games like that, called Hyde, this alliance. And so they're really big on just fighting. They don't have much foresight on like SVS preparing for it, but they just want blood now. And so they don't follow the rules. Like, I've organized everybody in the state and created the structure, but they violate that, which I don't mind. I don't care. But other people do when you add chaos into that. And they're good people. They just want that competition, that fighting. That's fine. But everybody hates them because of that. But I'm one of the few people who have been able to move past that and be like, hey, join us in this grand alliance. Let's work together. I don't care that you attacked some of my members earlier. We'll be fine. So it's kind of a mixture between I'm serious with, trying a game, but at the same time, I don't get butthurt and hold grudges.
Gotcha. What about you, EDC? Do you hold grudges, or are you pretty chill with?
I would say I'm pretty chill. There are some things that just like Sticky said, are over the line. But as long as people just play the game and the boundaries that it has set, it's all fine pretty much. Just don't get personal or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that's my stance as well. And Deleete, I'll find out yours in a second. Mine is the same. I don't really care. It's a game. I play lots of board games with friends, and they might beat me or they might toss the board table around, but I don't hate them. They're just a person playing a game. So I think of that way in this game. I really want people to enjoy the game how they like it. If you like to go around hitting everybody, do it. Deal with the consequences, but do it. My big thing is bringing things like racism and things like that into the game. Those are usually, I hit jerks. Like I want to hit jerks mostly. So if you do things like that, or you're insulting, or like we have a couple of people in our state chats that love to go straight to the insults and the personal attack, like name calling and stuff. I'm like, you just hit somebody if you want to hit them. You don't have to go there. So those are usually the people that I want to attack the most. What about you, Deleete?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I hold no ill will. If anything, being the number one player in our state, people are definitely like, we had someone that was like, I'm gonna quit today because there's no way I'm gonna catch you, and you guys just keep taking everything that we want and wham. It was a situation like that. And I was like, but that's just part of the game, and it's nothing's done out of intent. And if there is someone that's just attacking someone for something just like just awful in real life, as a number one player, I feel like I need to go out and destroy that person just so everyone else can see that this is like not how you act in our state. I make an example out of that person. But I mean, those scenarios have been so few and far between. My leader has such a bad rap that everyone kind of comes after our alliance and is just always on attack because he is aggressive. Like I said, when he's your friend, he's awesome. When he's against you, he's absolutely awful. But people kind of either don't attack him because I'm on his alliance and know that I'll kind of like back him up when he's right. If he's wrong, and he stands alone. So far, really hasn't been that wrong and hasn't really done anything besides be aggressive, which is kind of infusing our state with people continuing to want to play and get better.
I would 100% back that. A good enemy is just as inspiring as a good leader. To have somebody that just makes you so mad that it makes you want to drop some money to get leveled up so that you can beat them. It does inspire playing. So I have to give you that. Yeah. So that question, we beat that one to death, I think. Gaming during the COVID, I did have that on my agenda to ask you guys because I am an oncology nurse. So I've been having a lot of struggle with trying to get my game time in because that's my hobby. That's really what I do is I like to play games. What about you guys? Has it changed the way you play? Has it changed the way your alliance plays? Have you noticed less activity, more activity because they're sheltered at home or what? EDC, how about you?
Well, I'm personally not really affected because I work in food retail, so my job continues as usual. But yeah, we did send out messages to players to please let our force or me know if anything is affecting their playtime and if they are all healthy and stuff because yeah, I suppose some people are going to be more active because they are in lockdown or anything. But there is also the other slice of the cake that people might just drop out because they either become ill themselves or someone very close to them. So yeah, it definitely changed the game for a few people.
Yeah. Sticky, do you have any perspectives on that with yours? Anything that you're noticing with it?
Yeah, same thing with EDC. It can be, I wouldn't say a blessing, but it could be a good thing and a curse at the same time. Just because we have some folks who are locked down because of quarantine in their countries. We have some Italian folks. We have some folks in the UK, and then some folks here in America. And because of the lockdowns, they're able to play more. But at the same time, you know, some of their families have been affected by COVID. So they've had to deal with that. Some people have had to step back. I'm in a lot of Discord channels in a lot of different states. And there has been people, you know, who's lost their life because of COVID. So it's difficult to deal with. But at the same time, I think as a state of survival community, we're coming together pretty well to make sure everybody's being taken care of. And so that's one thing I like about this game, the community. I think that's a big part that's helping people out.
I would agree. Anything to add, Skorn? You got any?
I would agree. I think StickyFang actually explained it perfectly. You know, between you get this balance between you get some people that do get the extra time and some people that lose time because the work they have to do because of the COVID. But I mean, I noticed there's been difficulty with players that even though they get that increased time to play, it actually seems prospectively to they get bored quicker because you have this, you know, this business model of the, you know, the devs trying to, cool, how do we make more money with these later on states, these higher states, state numbers, which gives less content for the earlier states. And so we're kind of waiting in this type of lingo. And so you have a lot of players that like, I have more time, but there's nothing else to do at the moment until SVS. So I've been dealing with a lot of that, of how, at least approaching the question with State 10 of how do I keep my attrition low until SVS because of it. Because there's been people left like, oh, I have all this time in the world, and there's nothing this game has to offer at the moment. Someone's going to leave. So it's been difficult.
Yeah, I can see that in this, the older states. Like with our state, ours is still newer. Deleete. I mean, we still have a lot of players, but we're all affected by COVID, of course, but ours is still so intensely active right now. Wouldn't you say? We don't have a lot of people like falling off. I have had a couple people in our alliance that have just said, look, you know, it's too busy with COVID going on right now, but it's been like maybe two or three. How about you, Deleete?
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, you know, we definitely have a couple people that are affected. You know, myself, you know, I'm able to play a lot more right now because of my home situation. You know, and for everybody listening, I hope your families and you guys are safe and stay safe. So, but it's like, you know, you kind of have to manage. And a lot of people use this game, you know, because of and like how involved you can get if you want to get as a great escape, you know. So I think it becomes a value. You know, there have definitely been people that have come through and, you know, so far in our state that are like, yeah, I just, you know, something's going on with my dad, or, you know, I've had family issues or anything along those lines. I just kind of need to, you know, run this rally or kind of do stuff to kind of get away from things for a little while. You know, I'm glad they can have a game as a little bit of a safe haven, just kind of be able to kind of zone back into something else besides, you know, something that's just a tragedy. So, but there's, you know, there's definitely been people that have been affected, and there have been enough people that have been able to kind of switch it and aren't affected that can kind of take their place. So there's a ever rolling kind of situation where there's always enough people on, you know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 Again, Deleete, I like what you said. Make sure that everybody that's watching, we really hope that you guys are all staying safe and that we're glad that you have State of Survival to take your mind off of stuff. I am sure glad I have my games to take my mind off of stuff. Real quick, Tomatoes did a super chat for $4.99 saying, StickyFang, love your videos, man. Keep up the great work. Looking forward to seeing your next video. Any tip for beginners? I'm sure you have some beginner videos out there that they can pop into. Sticky.
Yep. So my beginner videos are a little bit outdated because they're from when the game first started, and the game is definitely a lot different now than it was back then. But biggest tip I would give out to anyone would be join a bigger alliance if you're a newer player or if you're free to play, simply because you want that protection to start off with. If you are a pay to play player, then try to go ahead and boost your stats as big as possible, as quick as possible. Of course, stick to your budget, but yeah, take care of yourself, protect yourself. Those are the biggest advices that I could give.
Gotcha. Real quick, new update. Well, this is going to be real quick because I know that all of you guys probably have some beef about it. The new update. What do you guys think? Yay or nay? Just thumbs up or not? Are you unhappy with it? And if you are unhappy with it, what would you change? What's the biggest thing you wish the devs would listen to change? Who do I want to pick first? Let's go with EDC, the quiet one.
Good question. I think the update itself is quite okay. I mean, it's exciting to actually be able to spend all those building speed ups again. But I do believe that the gap between playing players and free-to-play players is going to be enormously, because just simply upgrading the HQ is going to take approximately 40 days or something. So getting to 33, maxing out all buildings again is going to take, 4 or 5 months? And that is assuming you don't spend anything. So yeah, if you want a quick trip to power and you drop a lot of cash, you can burst through it quite fast. But I think it's too much of a difference.
You think it's going to cause a big gap between the free-to-play? I think, who said that? I think it might have been Skorn. You might have said something like that. Or Deleete. Maybe it was Deleete that said it. Putting too big of a gap between the free-to-play and the pay-to-play players is just going to create more of a divide there. What do you guys think?
Yep.
Yeah,
without
Deleete,
question.
it was you.
Because you're gonna have 30s, and then you'll have 23s that just never get any bigger, never ever get any stronger. You know, I mean, but you just hope that new people kind of funnel in and don't stop aggression. You know, I mean, that's kind of the hope that we have, at least in state 125. You know, where it looks like when you scroll around the map, 60% of the group is survivor names. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is big, and then you scroll the map and it's Survivor 5, Survivor 3, Survivor 7. This is a Survivor 10 base that has a headquarters and only 2 people there. You know, it's really random. People are still trying to find their way in our game, in our state.
Yeah, agreed. Skorn, do you have any thoughts on the update?
Well, the update, I mean, I don't know. If someone else may be able to, elucidate it for me. I don't know why. I do agree there's an issue with free to play and pay to win, but I didn't know how the update pertained to that. When it comes, go ahead, Deleete.
Yeah, go ahead, Deleete.
Well, we actually, I mean, I think that, the subject that I kind of broached it upon was the fact that the plasma cores hasn't hit our state yet. You know, I don't know if it has you guys, but I think there's still a race for people to get to 30. And I don't think we have 20 people that have hit 30 yet. It's probably somewhere around 18, 19 people that have hit 30, and if that progression continues where it's just like, there's no way I can play this game with people that are just dropping tons and tons of cash, it's going to be discouraging. I mean, there are people that are more well off that can keep up, but if you're free to play and you're trying to be, a strong player in even our new state, it's going to be rough. There's only so much time that you can make up, free to play. But that's true in just about every mobile game going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're talking like the level increasing is going to be discouraging that to these mid-level to lower players that just are never going to be able to catch up to that because they keep increasing that cap.
Yeah, like, it's 14 days to be an HQ level, 27. What's 30 going to be? You know what I mean? And that's for them, that's rough. They can't. But I mean, that's also a thing where people are just like, maybe I will drop bucks, and try and progress this, that much faster.
You can pretty much already see it happening though. Even in younger states, around 22, 23 or something, when the timer starts becoming really long, headquarters taking well over a week to upgrade. That's one of the flipping points where a lot of players quit. And by putting another grind of 4 or 5 months into it, I think you're going to discourage a lot of players to stick around for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see that. But at the same time, I understand that from a business point of view that they need to make money, and they need to balance out to make sure that their in level, their high spenders, their Kraken, so you will, are still having motivation to keep playing. Because I'm sure that levels like you guys are, you get a little bit, or you're getting a little bit bored without new content coming out. And if they're not going to release state v state, they're trying to keep you interested. Maybe. Skorn, what do you think?
So, I mean, first I want to thank Deleete for having the balls to reach out. I appreciate it. So I was really confused, and that does make sense, though. I understand why you guys might bring that up, the free to play. That makes sense. For at least for the earlier states, or at least state 10 in particular, the update has been a blessing, at least for me, because I'm trying to focus on how to build up the state for SBS. And a lot of my players that are big spenders won't spend anymore. Because why? You get these medals over time, but that's just one area. Now we at least have new content to build up and focus on, so we can. It would helps to better visualize SBS and our role in it and building up towards it, which is the biggest difficulty. I mentioned to you before, I don't have the data. I don't know what the numbers look like when it comes to money they receive for investing or not investing into SBS, the devs. But the difficulty, at least with my state, with not having that and being bored, this provides new content so that they can better visualize of SBS. Of like, cool, now we're gonna have more stuff that will make us stronger and more competitive with SBS. And so now we need to be able to pour into and focus and invest our time on this and work together to achieve this. And so it's been helpful. We've definitely loved it.
Did you say something, Sticky?
Yeah, so I kind of have an opinion about this, and I don't know. I guess I'm on the fence because I can go both sides with this. You know, I can see the perspective from the folks who, you know, were bored because maybe they're maxed out on everything and they've just been sitting. There's nothing really to buy unless you want to buy packs to train troops. And I can also see on the free-to-play person side, because like we've been around since August, right? State 11. And we have some people who are just now hitting 30. Granted, if you really wanted to, you can hit 30 within about 4 months or so, even as a free-to-play player. But for those guys, now they just hit 30, and now all of a sudden this new prestige building came out, and it's like, wow, okay, so my journey doesn't end. I thought I just caught up with the big boys, and now I have to restart. For the big guys, it's like, okay, now we have something else that we can go towards and can make us stronger and can make us stand out amongst the pack, you know? And with this update, I don't honestly see it as a bad update, because if you want to buy the plasma, you can go buy it and you can get big really quick. However, I have been grinding the plasma, and you can get a pretty good amount of plasma over time by just grinding it in intel. You can max out your intel, and then it refreshes every 4 hours or 6 hours, whatever's the case, and you can boost those levels. I mean, you have to get.
I mean, is it a substantial amount though that you're getting in intel?
I would say you can get maybe 12 plasma cores every 8 hours or so. And so what, you can get 36 in a day if you wake up in the middle of the night or whatever's the case. You can grind these out, and over a month, over 2 months, you can get those levels if you have the speed ups and if you have the resources for it. Go. I'll be inside soon. But if you're a pay-to-play, you can get it pretty quick.
It's all right. We all got kids. We all have families. We're fine. Don't worry about that at all.
That's my son, Casey. He's like, what the heck are you doing out here?
Why are you hiding in the car?
Always difficult.
I sit in the office in my car in front of the house.
Yeah. It's funny that the demographic is, side note, I know this is off topic, but the funny that our demographic is always like usually it's over 30 for these type of war games, right? The target demographic is like 30 to 45, I think, which I've always found interesting. But anyway, side note. Yeah, so do you guys have any other talk about the update? I mean, I really thought we would talk more about that, but I think we're still trying to figure it out.
Did you guys hear about that bug that was happening where people were getting like an infinite amount of troops as long as they have the resources?
Yeah. What? Did they patch that? Did they fix it? What?
So they patched it this morning, but there was one guy who was able to train 4 million T10 hunters.
Did you find proof of that though? Did you get
proof?
I
have pictures. I have pictures. I think they patched it, and I want to say they punished, quote unquote, the guy who did it, and they took some of his power away, but I don't know if he got to keep some of those or not, because how can they tell what he just trained and then what he already had.
So
'Cause-
legit, I don't believe anything unless it's in video and I see
I
it in
have
action.
pictures. Yeah, I have pictures of it. And he went from, I want to say he went from like 200 million BP to like 650 million BP in just a couple hours.
Really?
He had 2 billion points in the survival of fittest event. And yeah, I have pictures of all of it.
That's classic. Yeah, I mean, that's like when stuff like that happens in a game, you can know that eventually they're gonna find you. You know what I mean? It's like going to the bank and seeing that you've got an extra $3 million in your checking account and then pulling that cash. You know, they're gonna know. You know what I mean? You got to be careful with that. I mean, and just in other games that I've played, I've seen people try and take advantage of little like loopholes. You know, one of them actually got an offer to work for the mobile gaming company, but like a couple of other people got slammed really hard. You know, like lifetime bans kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that's crazy though. I mean, I can't even imagine having an extra 4 million troops. I mean, I'm number one player and I've got 400,000 troops. So getting to that level is just that's bonkers.
Well, yeah, I have over 1 million troops and I'm not even that big. I think I'm at like 120 million BP.
No kidding. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm not big. Yeah. Trust me, Nimki is 220 right now, 230. So yeah, I still have some ways to go.
What would you say is the best get to
ahead.
that level? I mean, sorry, McMahon.
No, I couldn't hear you breaking up. Go ahead with the question. I'm interested.
What would you say the best way to kind of just continue the quest for more BP? Is it purely just training troops? Like I just got to, for instance, just myself, I'm all purple in my chief gear. I've got probably a medal. Each medal is probably +1, maybe. Yeah. So, and then like my heroes, I think just about every one of my heroes is rocking purple except for like one class, you know? So like, I think I'm missing a pair of like purple sneakers or blue sneakers, you know? So actually purple sneakers. So it's just like, you know, how do you, is it just troops? Is that what it is?
Well, I would say for you, because you're in a newer state, when you get those 3 new heroes that drops, Miho, and the rest of them, I can't think of their names right now, but when you get those 3 new heroes, your BP is going to skyrocket again because you're going to level those guys up. You're going to put your hero gear on them. So that's going to give you a nice little jump. You said your chief gear is already at what? Top tier epic?
I'm at just first tier purple.
Okay.
So what is?
Yeah, I would say mostly after that is going to be your troops then. Yeah, I would say. And you're already, what, 70-something million BP?
Well, I mean, from a cost-benefit ratio perspective, troops, the BP is skewed on troops. That's why when you look at, let's say, the people who win survival of the fittest overall, what of those stages of survival of the fittest do they score the highest in? It's always going to be troop training. Troop training is because troops are skewed with the BP. That's why when you do like the raid score. So if you might have a high BP but have like a pretty mediocre raid score, it's because raid score doesn't calculate troops nearly as much. It's much more, in my opinion, accurate. And so usually, if you want high BP, get troops. But if you don't care about high BP, but you just want to be strong and focus on quality, focus on that gear, man. That gear in the middle.
Yeah.
And you see, you bring up the best point because I feel like a lot of people, when they first start the game, they just want to go straight into buying a bunch of packs and building a bunch of troops. And that is the biggest mistake that a brand new person can make. The biggest thing to do is focus on the things that an enemy cannot take from you. Troops can be a dime a dozen. I've lost a ton of troops. But if you build up your infrastructure, they can't break down your walls, you know?
Yeah. I mean, not to give too much of the secret sauce in case anyone in 125 is trying to come out. You know, the BP that you can lose is definitely been the heaviest value. You know, like I get the constant question of like, how did you get that strong? You know, and I mean, you know, a lot of it is short. You know, I mean, buying packs and supporting the game is kind of something that I've done. But I will say that it is very easy to just go in and buy the wrong thing. You know, if you're just buying just to buy, you have to have somewhat of a strategy in order to kind of progress your character the way that you should, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If there was one thing, I know we've got to get the question soon. We're almost out of time. Well, we can keep going if we all want to, but I do want to get to a couple of questions we have in the chat. But first, if you could ask the devs to change one thing right now, like what would it be? Obviously, we all want state versus state. Let's go ahead and say we need to bring that in. And at one point, I do want to have a live stream where we have really brought in our homework, like our facts and our statistics of why we think state v state would be good financially for them. Skorn, I'm looking at you. You're going to bring in this set of points for that. But what else would you guys want to change if you had a chance?
I'll let EDC go first.
Oh.
I always have to be the one that goes first. But
because you're the quiet one. We're going to pick on you, man. You're so quiet. I'm going to call you out.
Okay. Well, what I think the game could really use is some more interactive content. I mean, a lot of people are just daily running daily zombies, daily intel, and maybe a plague zone here or there. And to keep people really engaged while waiting for those day timers, that could really work out well. I mean, State versus State is going to be another event that is going to be on every now and again. Same for Clash and Reservoir Raid.
You mean more consistently interactive things that they can do within the alliance or within the state?
Potentially both. I mean, you can make another alliance event like Influencer Trap, but you could also do something which is more state-related, like fortress battles. I mean, there's probably plenty of things to still go to.
But basically more things that keep us interested that aren't just on a random calendar loop, but more interactive within.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What about you, Deleete?
You know, state for state is going to be something that you guys say, and you know, at your level, I'd be all into it. But my changes are simple. You know, like the troop formations, if that was a little bit better or like kind of easier to manage, you know, that'd be ideal. Sometimes clicking into it, and next thing you know, you're like, oh, it just zeroed me out for no reason. I got to start all this over again. You know, if you could have your preset arrangements a little bit easier to manage, that would be ideal. And the other is just kind of like, you know, attacking is a very fun part of the game. You know, if it wasn't as penal, it would be better. You know, like
it's so broke for defense to me. We had this discussion. I think it's a broken game for defense.
It's just like, but it's cool if you're doing like a one-on-one battle and you're waiting for someone to just kind of launch an attack at you. You know, porting to right next to them, relaunching an attack before they get to you, and just hitting them while their base is still out and they've got a recall. You know, that dance is probably one of the best parts of the game, but there's no situation besides Reservoir Raid that you can really utilize it, you know, to kind of to its full advantage. You know, but when you're going at someone one-on-one and kind of going at it, you know, and just like, okay, you know, someone's going to drop a recon. Someone's going to, you know, someone's really going to move this way or that way, you know, start an attack from further away, pour it in closer. You know, those dynamics are, you know, some of the things that I find extremely enjoyable, you know, and usually I only get those chances when I'm going to burn someone, you know, but I'll usually give them a little bit of a heads up by reconning them and be like, hey, are you on right now or are you not on? Because I'm going to attack you and I want it to be a game.
Wait, you warn them that you're attacking them?
Oh, without question. Plus, you know, not for nothing, but I don't want
Maybe I am a terrible person.
I really don't
ever warn anybody.
Hitting a reinforced base is just stepping on a shovel and it hitting you square in the face.
Oh, yeah, totally. Skorn, what do you think?
So, I mean, I don't have an opinion on what they should do, other than when we talk about SVS and not to focus on that right now. Let's find something else to talk about. And so even now in my state, I'm only active for diplomacy and talks when it comes to it. I come on the game only for dailies and some events because there's nothing else to do. There's no challenge for me. other
So
than the plumbers that I built up. So the question that I had to pose myself, which I want to pose to the devs, is the only reason I continue to play the game outside of SVS is community. These people that I built relationships with. And so without having an answer, but posing the question for the devs is, how do you increase community within your players? Which is the thing that I've been having to struggle with. And I'm curious about how they would do that in their position, to where how to make people want to invest more into the game, their time and efforts, because the people that relationships they build in the game. And ADC kind of hit on that with making it more interactive. That's one aspect of it, to where how do you make it so we can interact with people more and do more things with potentially? I don't know.
Well,
I don't really have an answer, but more of a question of how do you build community as devs to make people stay longer?
Well, I think you have, the one thing that you want more than anything is state v state would help do that as well. I mean, obviously.
Outside of that, as you asked.
No, well, if you already have your points already ready, go ahead and bring me a state v state.
But again, I mentioned earlier, without data, I don't know how much money are not losing. How do you estimate how much money you're losing for not doing SVS?
Yeah.
My guess is, but that's all it is. But so outside of SVS, the idea of community, hey, maybe SVS is the answer to building community.
I think it would be, honestly, because then you're hitting the whole game versus just your little tiny little active state. Some states go in and out of activity. So yeah, I agree. Sticky, you have anything to add to that? What would you like to change?
If I could change anything besides the whole state versus state, beat that horse to death, I think that the developers should add leaderboards for game-wide events. They've already started doing that for, Alliance Throwdown and Alliance Showdown. They started doing game-wide leaderboards so you can see how you stack in the competition. But I think they need to do that for something along the lines of like survival of the fittest, So we can see who exactly really are the top of the top players, because we already know who's the best guys in our state. But we don't know what the competition looks like unless we see it from someone's YouTube video or something that someone screenshot into Discord, And I'm a mobile game veteran. I've been playing for a lot of years. I used to play Game of War. There was a new mini event every 3 hours, 4 hours, or whatever. And each time that event took place, there could be a new number one player, and the rewards were great. It helped people hop on whenever they wanted to. And the event was happening. You could grind out the event, hop off, see what place you took, or you can have bigger events where, they take a couple of days, like the events we have now, and you can see who actually is the best player in the game. Because right now we all assume that it's Sheriff Casada, Maybe Sheriff Casada isn't the best player in the game. Maybe he is in first place in survival of the fittest for the whole game, and somebody else gets this super fancy frame and this really cool title they can use, or whatever's the case. I want to see who exactly is the best player in the game, or see who's the top alliance in the game, not based off of kills or battle power, but based off of how they compete in an event that is not Alliance Throwdown, which is just, I don't even like that event, so I don't want to get on that. But
which one?
Alliance Throwdown. Alliance Showdown, we're sitting pretty at in gold 1. But
is Throwdown the one where you put your troops into a line?
Yeah.
No. That's
honestly, I'll tell you, devs, I love you, but you're ridiculous with this game. I don't understand what this whole thing is. I don't understand it. We haven't figured it out. It just seems like a offhanded add-in.
So that's the Showdown. Alliance Throwdown is the one where you and your team have, it's like an option of 10 or whatever is the case, different mini objectives to get. So you can use 1,000 bio. Yeah, I don't like that one. I think that one is garbage. I think that they need to get rid of it. It's not really fair, because if my alliance has 35 people and we're going against an alliance that has 100 people, obviously they're gonna have more points than us, because each one of their people can do one goal, and each of my people will have to do 3 to reach the same amount of points as that next team. It's just not fair, in my opinion, and it really doesn't go off of skill. It's anybody can use 1,000 bio caps. That's not telling me anything.
Okay, so my big change would be the freaking battle reports need to show damage given. I don't understand why you go ahead, Skorn. What is it?
No, sorry. No, so me and one of my R4s is about petition. So we've been creating a battle calculator. And that's the number one thing was how do you compare lethality and damage? We understand attack and defense, it's capped based upon this ratio. It's percentage based, so that's easy. But when you get to lethality and damage, how do you calculate that? You never know. But battle report, the damage, that'd be the last part that we would need for making.
I just don't understand why that was not included in the game. Yeah, like why was that not included in that? Because you have your damage taken and all that. You have all your stats that you really need to figure out what your power, what you need to send in versus this troop versus their troops. And that's a very key piece missing. And I don't understand why they left that out. So I've written some very strongly worded letters to the devs about that one. So anybody else have any other additions that they would do? I think we're going to take some questions real quick. Guys, is there anything else that you wanted to chat about a little bit that we have left off?
One thing really quick before we move on. So anybody who's in the comment section or in the chat, if you guys have a line account and you're not in the State of Survival's line group, go ahead and add me. My ID for line is HMMAYO. Go ahead and look up that ID, add me, and I can add you to the State of Survival's line group. Has no moderators or anything like that. It's free speech. Go ahead and add me, and I'll put you in it. And then there's also a Discord for Sticky's Q&A. So if you ever have any questions and want to reach out to me, you can add me on Discord as well, and I can add you to that group. And sorry to take over your screen.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. So go ahead, Skorn. What's up?
Two things. One, out of curiosity, EDC. Where are you from?
I'm from the Netherlands.
That's cool, man. Okay. A lot of my R4s, like the people who know what they're doing, not me, are from the Netherlands. It's good to know. And also, I'm also curious, is this live stream going to be recorded and available in a non-live format for other? Okay.
Absolutely. So this will actually go up on YouTube, and I'm really hoping to do this on a regular basis. Obviously, we were a little bit kind of like question and answer individually. As we get more comfortable bringing in different people, and I'd hope to have a bunch of you again on, it'll be more like, okay, this update, let's go into more in-depth questions about like throwing back ideas of strategy and stuff together. It gets a little bit easier and a little bit looser and more comfortable to do that. So I really do hope we can get more Friday streams going. I want to try to do it every Friday night. And even if we only have 1 or 2 people on, it's not a big deal. But the video will be up. It'll post onto RSG for everybody to look at again. So I'm going to look at some viewer questions. Finn, who is our producer here, he's been going through pulling out any questions that were posted in chat. The first one is for Skorn. Let's see if I can find it. Skorn, have you ever, it's from Marpay, question for Skorn, have you ever taken a rally from a top 1 player in state?
Yes, actually. So one issues our number 1 player, who's I think top rank 2 or rank 3 out of all states, Druck or Bambi. He changes his name sometimes. I think it's Druck right now. He is he has an issue of dealing with, we have to create this balance within the state where everybody gets a little piece of the pie. Everybody can get stronger together for SVS, but he can't attack towers, and no one wants to attack his tower because he's so strong. And so I allowed him to attack, and I'm one of the people who plays the fodder. I only gain the first 3 default medals, and I don't go for the rank anymore. I just allow him just to dominate my troops. And once you have all your stuff researched, you can heal 1 million troops in a day, doing, staggered 1-hour events. So yeah, I let him hit me all the time.
That's pretty interesting. You're the fodder.
Please God.
Yeah. Question from Emily H. Can we see more people's faces? Well, I don't know about these guys. They might be. Yeah, right. Skorn and I obviously aren't shy. But everybody gets comfortable at their own pace. And, some people are sitting in their car. Some people are avoiding children running around them. And some people just got off work. And EDC, it's like super early in the morning for him, so I don't blame him not wanting to be seen.
Yeah, and leave us alone.
Yeah, everybody does it at their own pace, so don't push them. Marty Moriski, are your alliances focused on quality or quantity? Ooh, EDC.
A bit of both. It's a numbers game, so having an additional player with just bringing in troops is always a pro. But in the end, you do need like a solid base to function on. I've seen my fair share of alliances break down because they lost their one top player, which pretty much carried the entire alliance, and that's something you want to avoid.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like that answer. Anybody else have anything to add to that?
I would say in State 11, we've gone over a lot of like facelifts. At first, I would say we were all about quantity. I was a part of the number one alliance a couple times. It fluctuates. And we went from being a bunch of top guys who were jerks and just really toxic, not very good people. Our alliance leader at the time, he actually put two alliances against each other. And that it just caused all this chaos and stuff. We lost our top player because of that, because he was just like, I can't be a part of a team who uses other alliances like that. And now months and months later, we are all about quality instead of quantity. Now we are very selective with who we let join our alliance. We're the number 3 alliance now, which is okay with us. We will prefer to be low numbers, but have good players that we can rely on, that we know have respect. And yeah, that's our...
Got it. Delete? Skorn? Nope.
No, I mean, we you got to be a cool person, and that's basically it. It's pretty funny that, you would be laughing at that because you see our alliance leader as a huge D-bag, but he's actually a good guy.
But you are cool. And so I feel like you balance each other out. And that's fine with me, because you got to have that balance in an alliance. You need to have the jerks that are pushing people on. And then you need to have the cool guys that are, you're like, I respect this guy. I'll listen to what he's got to say. So I'm fine with that. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. So, I mean, it's just, it's just basically you gotta, you gotta be active. We'll shed a high number, for someone that's a low number that's actually trying to consistently grow without question. We'll take that person every day of the week.
100%.
Doesn't play. That doesn't make any sense.
100%. I'll kick somebody with high BP if they don't listen or don't follow or don't try to follow direction. And I'll take a Castle 12 that is like actively asking questions, wanting to know what the stats mean and wanting to know why they shouldn't send infantry in a trap. Like, you ask those questions, then you're okay with me. Like, I'd get rid of the other one. It just does what he wants. Next question. Let's see. Marpe again. Sticky, how do you feel when top 1 player on state rallied you 3 times in first capital in S11 when you were sleeping?
Oh, so...
Is this a touchy subject? Should I not ask that?
It's okay. That was rough. I woke up and it was about, 15 minutes before our first capital event. And I woke up to being completely zeroed out to Nimke. And so I think he lost the first hit, but he rallied me 2 more times and beat me and completely zeroed me out. And I actually think I was hit probably 300 times because they cleaned me. But it was rough waking up.
Do you remember the total troop loss?
Oh, I lost hundreds of thousands of troops. Hundreds of thousands. And I was a tier 30 at the time. Yeah. So what happened was I ended up training whatever I could at the time with the resources I had left. I healed what I could, and then we tried and we got our butts whooped, but I don't know. I never had a grudge because of it. It is what it is. And I ended up beating him a different time, so that was cool.
Oh, yeah, you got better from it, I'm assuming.
I wouldn't say better. I wish I could use lube because that was rough. One of my friends just commented he knew the amount. It was 670,000 troops.
Oh.
Yeah. Eeyore's lost tails. This game is way more in-depth than expected. Just hitting collect at the moment. Question, is this game one account across all devices like Swagat, or are you forced into new game on each device? So that's more towards me because we play another game, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. It's one, you can do multiple accounts on one device. You just have to link them up, correct? I don't play multiple accounts. So you guys don't have to step in, but I think you can log in on your same device on multiple accounts, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're an account player with multiple accounts, you want to play on one device, you can on this game. Marpay, question, what's your alliance motto? I don't even know that we have a motto. Do you have a motto, Skorn?
Just a list of don't touch these people, please.
But you don't have like a saying, like that is your saying for Z-Day.
No, it's an interesting question though, because for State 10, I'm trying to get people past the alliance, the idea of alliances, and more of a, instead of intra-alliance, intra-state, I've been trying to think of one for State 10.
Oh, for the state and whole.
And Russian stayings into the motto, but at the moment, nothing.
Oh, so you're trying to make like the whole state one big alliance kind of thing.
I mean, for
like
SVS.
Unify them.
Yeah.
What about you, EDC? Do you guys have a state motto? Do you have a motto for your alliance?
No, not really.
We don't either. We just have our allies and stuff in there, I think.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
Go look. Tells you how good R4 I am. I don't even know. What about you, Deleete? StickyFang?
Like, hey, we've got, don't mess with these people or we'll burn you or something like that, or something random.
Yeah.
NAP, these 3 letters followed by 16 of them or something.
I think I should make one, like something like a Big Lebowski quote or something like that, and just leave that up. No allies, nothing.
So our motto right now, I pulled it up just so I can be sure what it says. It says, strength through unity, unity through sacrifice. That is our motto. That's all we need. We are one team, and yeah, that's 101 Legion State 11.
Gotcha. Cool. Marpay asked another question. Are you guys going to talk about attack, defense, and other tactics? I'm sure we will. We didn't really have a time. We were really kind of just getting to know each other, getting to get the format down for how we're going to do this. And I really wanted to just see my time frame on what we're talking about. So we are going to try to do this every Friday night. Go ahead, Skorn.
No, it's Marpay. Really, I was trying to talk to him about like his question of attack and defense.
Yeah.
It's very contextual. Like, give us an example.
Yeah.
Like the question of quantity versus
very
quality.
vague.
Depends what you're doing. Like, you can have the highest quality in Alliance Showdown. Like, that's going to bite you in the ass if you're skewed with your BP. Like, you need quantity also. It really depends on the context. That's what I was trying to. Marp, tell us what you want to be better at.
That's Mario. Yeah. So that's Mario. Gotcha. Yeah. So different. We just need more specifics when your question, and we can definitely ask those around. And like I said, we're going to have more on Friday nights, more guests. I'm going to try to have these guys back again if they want to come back, and I'm also going to have more players that are just experienced players that we can really do live Q&As where you guys can ask those questions. Also, Tomatoes did another super chat for $1.99. Do y'all play other games like Ninja Tribes? I don't play Ninja Tribes, but I do play other games. How about you guys?
I play Ninja Tribes, but
do you?
Yeah, I do actually. It's pretty cool. I don't know if you'd like it though. If you've never seen the show that it's based off of, is based off of this old school anime called Naruto.
Naruto, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, if you've ever seen that, then you'll like the game. But if you haven't seen that show, you probably won't like it too much. I play it a lot. So
cool. What do you play another one, Skorn?
Oh yeah, so I'm playing KOA right now, just to get an idea of KVK in preparation for our SVS. Presumably, the devs will have some type of similarity between the two, but other than that, just I don't know. I might do some D&D online with some friends from the state.
So Reality Skewed Gamers has a D&D campaign going on right now, so check us out. We're looking for people. EDC, how about you? Do you play any other games?
Occasionally, but nothing really active at the moment. All kind of games, really. So.
Really cool. Deleete, do you play anything?
Yeah, I have a really tough time standing still or not doing anything. So, Clash and Brawl Stars are probably probably my top 2 right now that I'm probably playing. But yeah, I've always got something going on.
Gotcha. Yeah, so RSG, we do play a lot of games. I don't play any. This is my only mobile multiplayer game right now. I do play some other games. I do Magic the Gathering online. I know we have some Magic the Gathering. Yeah. So
Cheers.
you'll love to talk to Finn. Finn's a huge Magic the Gathering. So is our guy Sir Loki. He does tournaments all over the place with Magic the Gathering, and we do live streams on those as well. But I haven't been really into any mobile games right now. We've just been playing a lot of PC games. We play Don't Starve and things like that together.
Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So that's really all I'm playing besides State of Survival. Teal said we also have a Friday night D&D off stream. FYI, Teals is one of us.
Like Roll20 or something, or
I have no idea what he's talking
no
about.
clue. Okay, that's cool.
He'll say in here what he means D&D off stream. Okay. The last question, Sack, which is funny. Sack said, been a long time, RSG fan, don't know anything about this game. It seems pretty cool. Is it too late to start a new account? Actually, no, it's not, because they have new states that are opened up. I think, Sticky, what did you say the newest one was? 150 something?
199.
Oh, 199. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Our state was 125 and it opened 2 months ago. So they are obviously continuously opening up new states. And you can always get a new account and jump over to another state. As far as getting into one of these guys' state, I probably would think it would be a little too late to jump over there. What do you guys think?
I think that if you're willing to shell out a couple bucks, and if you want to buy an account, I'm not promoting it. But if you would like to, I may know a guy in State 11. Just let me know. If you're a brand new player and you want to come to State 11, just let one of us top players in the state know that you're brand new, you want help. We'll gladly build you up. We'll teach you the ropes. And yeah, so we're free to have new players.
Yeah, I mean, 125 is still growing. So, I mean, you still have some time. We still have new players that are coming in all the time. But, you know, you have Deleete, wreck and ship everywhere. So it is kind of hard. But
I'm the nicest big guy in the world.
He is. He's a big, nice, cool teddy bear. But if you do decide that you want to play the game, that is a really nice segue. I have a blue, and you want to get into the game from our RSG channel. We have a link in our description to download the game on BlueStacks. We're actually affiliated with BlueStacks, so that'll give RSG a little support there. So if you guys want to download the game, just hit the link down there and support RSG. That would be awesome. Our last question that I have here, and then we're going to do some quick pimping everybody's stuff. All of their descriptions and all of their information are going to be in our description for the stream so that you can look them up later. But the last question we have is Pablo. His is, what is the most common mistake a newbie like me should avoid? If you had one to pick one, what would you say? Who wants to go first? I'm trying not to pick on EDC anymore.
Shucks, I would say the biggest mistake a newbie could make would be to train his first 30 troops and then think he's the god of the world and go off trying to hit people. I see that happen a lot. Like, someone tries to be like, yeah, I got 300 troops. I'm going to come spank your whole alliance. I'm like, all right, young man, let me go ahead and teach you something real quick. Like,
Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that I see, or that I saw back when our state was brand new. So.
Gotcha. What about you, Skorn?
Think about the long game. A lot of the early and mid-game content is going to go by pretty quickly. What do you want late game, long term? Focus on that growth. Try to hold it, hold in that aggression as much as possible, and focus on just building yourself up as much as you can. Know people in your state, build those relationships. There's a lot of people who are in horrible alliances that have had to destroy because they're intervening in balance, but I've still taken on people from those alliances because they were just great, genuine people who are now amazing.
Gotcha. Cool. EDC? Deleete?
I would say never neglect research.
Yeah.
I love that tip. What about you, Deleete?
I'd concentrate on just making sure that you upgrade your buildings, that, you know, your buildings match your HQ level, you know, just about at all times, because you could be try and raise your HQ as much as possible and everything else is really low, and you'll just get mashed by people that are at the same level, you know, without question. Research is also extremely important, and people just neglect it like it's nothing. You got to be on that.
That is true.
I would say my biggest tip as a new player myself is click everything. Like, I don't understand. I keep seeing when we're in Alliance chat and people, I'm like, well, did you read the event description? I don't know what's going on. And I ask them if they read it. No, I didn't read it. Did you even click on it at all? And people aren't clicking on things. Like, I click on every icon on my screen. Like, that's the first thing I do, the little airplane icon, the little question marks everywhere. There's tons of information there. And then it also lets you ask questions later because you know a little bit about it. You can ask somebody in the Discord channel. So I would just say, just click on everything and ask questions nonstop, and get into the Discords, to be honest. That the SOS Discord is actually pretty good information there. I mean, some people are trolls and just give you crap, but most of them, if you go in there and you ask a legit question, you're going to get about 20 answers, and you're going to get one of them that's pretty decent. So, you know, just kind of network and make friends with people that are better than you, because that's how you learn. You learn from people. So that's what I would do. Guys, we went way over time. It's like 9:30. We went 30 minutes over what we wanted to do, but it's good. We were getting to know each other. I just want to let everybody know we're going to have all of their descriptions again down in the our description. We're going to have Sticky's channel in there. Guys, is there anybody that you want to pimp out? Do you have a page? Do you have a Discord channel? Do you have an alliance that you want to pimp out? Skorn?
No, I can't think of any alliance at the top of my head other than just Stay 10. It's great, amazing people, and I hope the devs, you know, provide the content and opportunity for us to take on more challenges together.
Yep. Sticky?
I want to say shout out to State 11. Shout out to StickyFang Gaming, the YouTube channel. If you guys haven't checked out my channel, like she said, the link is going to be in the description. I have some great content there. I'm always here to help you guys. I really make videos just to help. It's just a hobby for me. Thanks for the support. I love you all. New videos dropping tonight, so make sure you check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys go check him out. EDC?
Shout out to State 19, of course. And yeah, pretty much hate mail for a PTH can go to Mr. Ducks.
I have to say you're my favorite, EDC. I like how quiet you are.
I like EDC, yeah.
Deleete, anything?
Just stay alive in the 125. You know,
I am trying.
And Lou is not a bad guy.
I'm not a crook. Famous words. It's not a threat. Okay. So, yeah. All right. So, well, that was it. Thank you guys to all the guests. We really appreciate you joining us. Again, these will get better and better. We're going to have more and more players on. We're going to have more videos for RSG. I'm hoping to get Finn involved into this. He's been listening and learning, and we might get him involved, and we might have even more videos coming out. Don't do that, Skorn. We are encouraging him to do it. I want to have at least one video out a week, and then we want to do these live streams out every Friday. So if you're interested in being on, or if you're interested in anything related to making these videos or anything that you'd like to see, please reach out to me. Reality Skewed Gamers, we have things going on every day, whether it's stream on Twitch, whether it's YouTube, different games that we play, Battlefront, D&D, Magic the Gathering, computer PC games, Borderlands 3. We're doing something at all times. There's 5 of us that are constantly doing something. So check us out. Hit the subscribe button. Also join our Discord server. We've got that posted in our link, and that gives you updates on what we're doing. Our charity campaigns. We do tons of charity campaigns all the time for American Cancer Society. So just give us a look. Check in our Discord, give us a subscribe, and give us a chance to see if we can catch your eye with some of our vids. We appreciate you and all of your support. Happy hunting.
Bye, guys.
Later. Nice meeting you guys.
Yeah. Peace out.
Later.